Welcome to Founders Future, a podcast powered by Closers.io, where we dive into the journeys of innovative entrepreneurs and explore the road ahead for them and their companies. I'm your host, Ammar Elm, and in each episode, we uncover the stories behind impactful ventures, the challenges faced along the way, and the strategies driving their future growth. Today, we are absolutely thrilled to be joined by Baps Patil, a five-time award-winning designer, AI-powered product consultant, and creative entrepreneur behind Baps Patil Design. From UX and brand identity to motion graphics, AI-assisted design tools, mentorship programs, and a global client base including Google, L'Oreal, and Udacity, Babs is redefining design for the next generation. Babs, welcome to Founders Future.
Thanks, Amar. Nice to be on your podcast.
Yeah, I'm excited to dive in. I always like to start from the beginning. So can you take us back to before you started your company, your agency? What were you doing before that? And then what was really the motivation behind starting the company?
Yeah, right out of college, while I was in college, I started my mentorship. Like, I started mentoring folks in open classrooms, and at the same time, I was also designing and building mobile apps. And so when I graduated college, I continued to do that, but I also got a full-time job. So I was doing my full-time job, and then I had all these contracts in Europe and contracts in the US. So I just continued that and then set up the sole proprietorship business in 2021. And yeah, it's been pretty great since then. Got a chance to build out my network working with some big companies and working with folks in Europe, folks in the US, Japan, and so on. Yeah.
Awesome. What was really the motivation behind starting your own company? Why not just keep working for other people? Why do your own thing?
Yeah. The first work that I got was contract work, and having multiple contracts really forced me to think of what I do as a business as opposed to if I'd chosen the full-time job route right off the bat, and if I hadn't worked on any contracts before that, then I think I would be thinking of my career as there's a ladder to climb, get a junior developer job, then move to intermediate developer or senior developer, and then so that would have been a more traditional thought process. And when I look back now, choosing the contract route and being forced to think of my work as a business ensured that I was able to create a lot of value for clients, but also generate a lot of revenue for myself, which has given me a lot of freedom to do anything I want in my space. Yeah.
Yeah, the freedom is a big part of it, right? Like when you're working on your own dream instead of building someone else's, you can really live a certain type of lifestyle that is very hard to do as just a regular employee. Let's shift over to the business aspect of things and give the listeners more context into what it is that you do and who you help. So first off, I know you were mentioning you're changing the name, so maybe give us the new name. And then from there, who is your ideal client? Who do you love to work with? And then we can go into the offers and services after that.
Yeah, sure. So my business name right now for my sole proprietorship in India is Baps Patil, which is named after me. And I'm moving my business to Finland. That's currently in process. So the name for my Finnish business is called Nui, Nuits. And the TS is silent, obviously, because this is a French word. I love French. I speak French at an intermediate level, and I have French clients. Moving to Finland with the business with the French name enables me to actually work with European clients, and I have a French network there. So my ideal customer base is typically founders of early stage startups. And because of the network that I've built by mentoring people since 6, 7 years now, I've had the chance to work with enterprise companies as well. That's my ideal customer base. And what was the last part of your question again?
Yeah. So startup founders or early stages, that's the ideal customer. How do you actually work with them? What are the different offers, packages, services that you provide?
Yeah, so there's a few different, so it's for for a flat fee projects, that usually starts at $4,500. And then I have monthly retainers starting at $3,000 a month. And then so these are the two primary types of engagements, but also I've written my own book. I have a font that I'm selling on my fonts. And I have some free products, like I have UX Design GPT, which is available on the GPT store. It's free to use. It's helpful for UX designers. So those are the things that I have out, but I'm planning on putting out more AI projects out in the market. Yeah.
Okay, so walk me through for the flat fee for the retainer. What are you actually helping people do? What are you implementing into these businesses?
Yeah. So this is something that has changed over the years quite a lot. Like I started with designing and building mobile apps in 2018. And then along with that, I did a lot of mentoring. Like I trained students in open classrooms, Udacity, and a bunch of other places with learning Android, learning Android app development, learning UX design. And then it evolved into a lot of design, like primarily sometime in 2020. And then for the past 2 years, it has gotten back into development. Like right now, the way that I get into projects is I usually start with brand design, then move to product design. And depending on the needs of the client, like I see if I can help them with product development. And most of the times that is the case, and I get into product development itself. So that could be building AI apps or building workflows. So for my most recent client, I've been building a lot of AI workflows that has helped their internal team, but also their B2B clients.
Got it. Very cool. Okay. I'm curious, since you're working with all of these clients and sometimes it can be different the way that you approach each client, how do you think about the idea of scale in your business? So when you're looking to scale, what are some different things that you're implementing to make the fulfillment model more scalable? Because obviously you can only take on so many clients before you're just bogged down with,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. They started off as a sole proprietorship, but about 2 years ago, so in 2023, I hired 15 or 14 people to help with design or development at some point. And then the same number in 2024, I think was around 8 or 9. And I think in 2025, so far it has been 3. And so you can see that there's a trend of they've hired fewer folks over the last 3 years. And I expect this to continue to some extent because a lot is now possible with the AI tools and workflows that I still have the same output and the same number of clients. So for example, like I have 3 clients right now. The work that I'm doing for them now would typically require 15 people before, but I'm able to make it happen with 3 at the moment. So I do see that evolution happening right now, which is like I'm needing fewer people, and also like the industry in general is needing fewer people to achieve the same output.
Got it. So when you think about your capacity, where do you think your capacity lies? If you have 3 right now, what do you think that ceiling is before you're going to need to expand the team?
Yeah, so the 3 clients, there's one client for whom I'm doing a lot of active work. And then the 2 other clients, I'm selling them the AI agent subscriptions, and I offer support and strategic advice with that. So there's not a lot of work. Usually it's
Okay.
4 hours, 4 to 5 hours per month per client. So it's between them, it's 10 hours a month. And so if I had to scale this, it would be, I guess, 5, maybe 6 clients a month. So right now, yeah, so this is the current scenario. Yeah.
Got it. So 5 to 6 clients a month is your current capacity.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot. And I haven't experimented going beyond that.
Got it. Let's shift over to the back end of the business. When you're looking to acquire more customers and bring in more lead flow, what does that acquisition process actually look like?
Yeah, so for me, it has been, I guess, 3 sources. One source I'm not so active on right now, but the first two, the first being my network. As I said, like in the early days, like I would apply and approach companies through their website, through and see who's working in those companies in relevant roles and reach out. And that eventually turned out into contract work, which built a network. And I've prioritized working with folks in the EU and the US, which has helped me a lot now, just building that tech network. The second thing is when I mentored in Udacity and Open Classrooms and a few other places like even Mentor Crews, like I got added to these communities where I could talk to other mentors and people from other working in other companies and doing a lot of cool stuff. So that in itself builds a different type of network. which was again super helpful in getting the work that I have now. And then the third source, which added a lot of credibility, but also got me a lot of inbound leads, is obviously social media. I've been quite inactive recently, but I would use it a lot before and post about my work, post about design, post about the book, or I would give talks on stage and post about key highlights from that. So yeah, those are the top three sources so
Got it.
far.
So network is number one. What was the second one?
The first thing is a general professional network that you get from just working, and then second is a mentorship network, which is
Got it.
something that you get when you interact with other mentors and students and people who work in other workplaces in a mentoring environment. In
At
it,
this stage so
yeah.
far, if you had to look back, what do you think has been the most effective form of lead generation for you?
I would say it's the professional network aspect of it. And as I said, so I have an unconventional way of approaching people in a company, or not unconventional, but it's I focus on providing value upfront. I reached out to a founder of an animation company and I figured out a few issues with their website and I just said the issues and how they can resolve it. And I just texted that person he was the CEO of the company, and just texted that person on LinkedIn and he happened to respond. And we just continued to talk about things in general for 6 to 8 months with no like formal engagement. And then after about 8 months, like there was an opportunity for us to work. He reached out for help with brand. So that's where we had an opportunity to work. So I invested a lot of time in just talking to people and yeah, leveraging on the three sources that I've shared, the professional network, the mentorship network, and social media.
Yeah, yeah, thank you for sharing that. One thing that I always like to discuss on these podcasts is the idea of predictable lead generation, right? And not just relying
Mhm.
on inconsistent forms of lead generation. Like, for example, referrals, a lot of people mention referrals, a lot of people mention network, and those are probably the best leads, right? They're the highest intent. They like, know, and trust you, generally speaking, but they're not always consistent, right? It's hard to pull a lever and get more referrals and whatnot. So when you think about approaching predictable lead generation and implementing that in your business, what is your perspective on that?
Yeah, I think that's really important. With predictable lead generation, there are a few things that have worked consistently for me in the past, not that I've had to leverage them recently, but so there's a strategy around X Twitter that also combines with a strategy on Product Hunt. And then there's a few other indie hacking platforms that have helped me. I'd love to share a little bit about that. So when I build UX Design GPT, for example, it's about distribution. So UX Design GPT, it's a GPT agent that is free to use. So how did I use that to get inbound requests? So that's fairly simple. Like I built a tool, I spoke about it on Twitter, but you don't really get a lot of engagement on Twitter. So what do you do next? I posted it on Product Hunt. I launched it on Product Hunt, which is always great for getting people to go visit your product, like your product page. And then I tag Product Hunt, obviously Product Hunt like reshares it. And so there's a nice little engagement there. But also outside of this, like there's other ways where you can engage with people on Reddit and Hacker News and speak about a specific problem and then share more about that problem on those platforms where this is I often find is like consistent, provides you with consistent engagement. And I think having this up, even though the tool itself isn't my service, it establishes like enough expertise that, like for example, the tool is also available. The tool is available on Gumroad as a product, and Gumroad has a good discovery platform. And when someone technically gets the product on Gumroad, I have copy. I have a strategy in the copy where I share more about what I do, and I ask people to reach out if they need something in UX design, if they need UX work for their product. So anyone who's interested in UX design GPT will eventually be able to find me for my services. So this is a product first approach to finding leads, and it's also establishing a certain level of competence when it comes to selling their services.
For sure. Do you think that's a scalable approach?
In the past, not so much. In recent years, I think, in recent months, I think it is because of the huge library of N8N automations that I've seen. Like, for example, all of the steps that I just described, like most of them can be automated with an N8N automation, which is something that I've been exploring. There's always going to be a human in the loop aspect to it, where I'll need to approve something before it goes out. But otherwise, yes, I think it is scalable as long as we're leveraging these N8N automation or similar tools.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. N8 on make.com, all those different types of things. What does your sales process look like? So once a lead does come in, what are the different steps in the process that they go through for them to become a client?
Yeah, it depends on what they reach out for or what I pitch to them. And so let's say if someone is interested in brand design, I go through all their brand deliverables and figure out like what's not working for them from a brand recall or a brand recognition or a conversion perspective. And then we figure things out from there, and I'm able to talk to them about the value in having a brand identity and what's missing in the brand identity and how we can work on improving the brand identity to a point where they're able to have brand deliverables that achieve their conversion goals or their audience goals. Then with product design, it's more about where the product is right now, where do they want to take it? Is it something that has to be from 0 to 1? And if it is 0 to 1, does it have a strong brand foundation? So there's different aspects to it, but I usually cater to them from a design first perspective. And it's always going to be brand first. Do you have a solid brand? And then let's talk about the product. And this is specifically for startups and enterprise companies where they have some presence, they've been around for a while, and they need help getting to the next level. So that's my sales process.
Got it. Got it. Do you find it like how are you navigating balancing everything with doing the new business development, reaching out to people, running the sales, and then also the client fulfillment end?
Do you mean like how am I balancing it as a solo founder?
And are you finding it difficult having to run all of these different things instead of focusing on founder activities that could be working on the business?
Yeah, the business development and the marketing side of it is always the most challenging part. Often, yeah, and I think you've experienced this because with this podcast, I'm sure like you have to do a lot of marketing to get the word out about the podcast. And so it's a very like it's the social media aspect of it, which I used to be comfortable with, which is now has become challenging just because I haven't done it in quite a while. But the core work itself isn't as challenging just because a lot of these AI tools, like for product development, I use Cursor quite a lot, but I intermittently cycle through different tools and check them all out. And Cursor always is the one that I keep coming back to for product development. And then for design, there's like a wide variety of tools, like going from like graphic design with Midjourney to more creative workflows with something like Flora. Yeah, there's a lot of things that make design and development easy.
Yeah,
Business development and sales is more natural, just because I've been working on it for about 6, 7 years now. But yeah, the marketing is really difficult.
fair enough. Is it the getting more leads in through the door or just balancing everything?
It's showcasing the work. So my website has been outdated for 2 years now, and there are about 28 or 30 projects that I haven't showcased on the website.
Got
Or
it.
yeah, I haven't, yeah, that's the challenging part. Like showcasing work on the website as well as promoting the work that I've done on social media. So these are the two challenging aspects.
Fair enough. When you think of your future and you think of what you're looking to accomplish, let's say over the next 12 months, what specific revenue targets are you aiming for? What specific performance targets? What are your goals overall? Walk me through that.
Yeah, so the goal is to so I think more than the revenue goals, the type of work that I want to do is something that I want to control a little bit better. And I want to be able to be focused on work, building out creative workflows and building out product development workflows that make teams more efficient, that make clients more efficient, and being able to deliver something that a four-person team would deliver, but just deliver it as one person. That's what I'd love to focus on. And just in terms of revenue, I'd love to, as I'm planning the move to Finland, I'd love to diversify and have target four clients as opposed to the three that I have now and see where it goes from there and shift the balance between service versus the AI subscription business. See if I can increase the AI subscription revenue and get it up to a 50-50. And yeah, so I guess if I'm looking at numbers, it would be the target amount in USD would be around 25,000 USD. And I'm currently at about half of that right now
Per month, right?
per month. Yes.
Got it. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. What do you feel like is the biggest challenge to getting to that point?
Yeah, the challenge is that, so for me right now, the challenge is because this is such a new space. So for example, I built an MCP server for two clients where they could streamline their marketing research. They could just chat with Claude and say, hey, Claude, can you do some marketing research every Monday at 6 p.m. on our competitors and give a list of competitors. And then based on that, create action items in the marketing Trello board, something like that. That kind of use case, it's a little harder to convey the value of it right now. Or not hard to convey the value, but it's hard to get someone's attention in an online first world because the space is so new. I would it's a little hard to position the new technology that's coming in
Mm,
and convey the value in a very when the attention span is really short on social media or
yeah,
even in the conversations that I might have on LinkedIn.
got it. So it sounds like that's more of an issue around messaging. Is
Yes.
that fair?
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, I think it's messaging and a little bit of positioning as well.
Yes, I completely agree. Positioning and messaging are critical, and it's something that we talk about a lot when it comes to just scaling, right? And growing your company. You need to have that dialed in for your ideal customer. Now, let's go into a quick lightning round. What's one tool or resource has been a game changer for you in your company?
Perplexity, no doubt. And everything about Perplexity spaces where I can customize the search for a specific client, a specific use case, like dev, design, and then client specific spaces in Perplexity. Yeah, if I had to just pick one, it would be Perplexity.
Awesome. Yeah, I gotta get using that more often because I just use chat right now. And I
Mhm.
hear Perplexity is way better when it comes to research and whatnot.
Yeah, it's pretty comprehensive, and
Yeah,
I love the way that they ship things because it's a lot of build fast and ship, and even if it's not perfect, it's fine. But the user has the advantage of something that's actually helpful to them, and then we can fix things later.
sure. If you could talk to new entrepreneurs and give them a piece of advice that you wish you knew when you were first starting off, what would that be?
Yeah, when I first started off, I thought a lot about like trading my time away for more money, and at the moment, I'm trying to create a lot of value within a short amount of time and trying to productize that with the
Mm,
AI subscriptions. So I guess that would be my advice to once you have enough experience with the whole service-based stuff, or even before then, see if it's a good idea to productize what you want to offer.
yeah.
And that always could result in a higher revenue for your time.
And more scalability for sure.
And yeah,
Yeah.
that's for sure. Yeah.
What's the best way for people to reach out to you?
Yeah, the best way to reach out to me would be right now on my website at bobspatil.com. Or you can just also email me at hi@bobspatil.com. So that's BAPSPATIL.com. And yeah, feel free to reach out if you need anything in product design, brand design, or product development in AI.
Awesome. Babs, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thanks for your time, Ammar. It was
Yeah.
nice having this call with you.
Yeah, you as well. So that wraps up another insightful episode of Founders Future. To our listeners, if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. And if you're looking to scale your business and really enhance your sales and marketing efforts, visit closers.io to discover how we can support your growth journey. Until then, keep on climbing.